Hey there, ho there. So I was tagged in this tag from Keen Cat Chris. I will link her down below. Thank you so much, Christine, for tagging me. And I added a little spin to it. So this is the My Name book tag. So essentially what you have to do for the My Name book tag is take the letters that are in your name. So mine is H-O-L-L-Y, and come up with books. I think you can do this in a variety of ways. I'm personally going to do books that I want to read that start with H, a book that starts with O, a book that starts with L, another book that starts with L, and a book that starts with Y. So that is how I'm approaching it. I know you can do like book recommendations of books that you have already read, but my take on this is going to be books that I want to read. So my hair is in front of me today, and that's gonna kind of ruin the vision I had. So let's see. I don't like how I look without hair coming down. So we'll see if we can make this work. But I made, because I can never find these name tags, so I made 2 name tags from sticker paper and alcohol markers. And I made a hello, my name is Lovely Day, because that's my brand name, and hello, my name is Holly. So I'm going to do this essentially twice, one for my first name, Holly, and then one for my brand name. Oh, you guys. Oh no! I stuck it on the wrong side. I drew it on the wrong side. It's not on the sticky side. This is the sticky. Well, my bad. Let's go ahead and begin. There may or may not, I'm terrible at winking. There may or may not be a bonus section at the end of this video if you want to make sure you watch to the end. I'll do my first name first. So H. I have been wanting to read The Humans by Matt Haig for years. For whatever reason, just haven't gotten to it. And that's gonna probably be the case for most of these. O is Of Fire and Ash by Gillian Bronte Adams. I've never read this series, but I have heard about it throughout as long as it's been released, but only recently, with Tabitha talking about it highly, has it really climbed up my want to read list. So yeah, I do want to read Of Fire and Ash. The next one is L, so Lady of Lenaria by Michaela Bush. This one, I know that Lindsay at BFCG has hyped this book up, so I really want to read it. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, is this one in first person? And I believe it's indie published, so I do not know if there is a audiobook. Unless this one isn't in first person. Let me know in the comments below if you know. But either way, I do want to read this one. Hopefully they can come out with an audiobook. The next L. I have this one. The next L is The Legend of Sigurd and Gudrun. Gudrun? I don't know. It's a Tolkien book. What can I say? I just want to read all of the Tolkien books. So this one, there's some poetry. Is this all poetry? Oh, this is almost all poetry. I think I might read this like ASAP. This is what half poetry. Oh. Ooh. I want to read this right now. What is this book? This is... I'm gonna have to spend some time reading this, because I think this is his translation or interpretation or something of 2 poems, and then there's commentary maybe on the poems? I don't know, guys. Want to read it? And then Y. So Y is actually very hard, because I went on my Goodreads and I looked at all the books that I was interested in and the books that I'd read and books I had DNF'd and all of the books that I have shelved. And there was not a lot of Y book titles. So I am going with You Are Fatally Invited by Andre Pelago. This one was one of those that it was pretty much because there's not a lot of Y options, but I don't know anything about this book. At some point I put it on my TBR on Goodreads, so I'm just gonna trust past Holly that the synopsis sounded good, or someone talked about it in a really interesting way, or some such. So let me know if you know anything about You Are Fatally Invited. I don't know, the title's catchy, so I'm into it for that. Now let's do the same list, but for Lovely Day, which is my brand. We have an L, and I'm not gonna duplicate titles, of course, because we have to keep it different. So L, I'm going with Lockett's Revenge by L.E. Richmond, which is book 2. It comes after Mermaid's Tale, which I have read and I have enjoyed, so I'm hoping I will like Lockett's Revenge as well. For O, I have Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Myro. When this one was first released, it was pretty popular in the mainstream fantasy sector, I guess. And I put it on my TBR. I have not read it yet, and also the hype about it has kind of died off. I don't really hear people talking about it anymore, but I would still be curious to try it. For V, I've got The Vault Between Spaces by Shauna Schroeder. This is another one where when it was released, there was some hype around it. I know it's YA fantasy. I cannot recall if it's Christian or not. But yeah, I don't really hear of anyone talking about it anymore, but I'm still interested to read it. So The Vault Between Spaces. The next one I own, and that is Elantris by Brandon Sanderson. Wow, I was gonna say Brand Hansen. No, Brandon Sanderson. So yeah, I'm sure anyone who has been in the fantasy world knows the name Brandon Sanderson. He writes a ton of fantasy and is very beloved in the fantasy world. I've liked some, not so much, whatever. I'm kind of in the middle of the road when it comes to Brandon Sanderson, but this one I want to read. I mean, I still want to read a lot of his books because I want one to like really hit me, you know. I want to love something from Brandon Sanderson. So I'm hoping that maybe this is it. So this is going to be my choice for the letter E, Elantris. We've got another L, so I'm going with Leaven of Malice by Robertson Davies. I love these old books. They are so fun to me. So this one was published in, okay, well, copyright is 1954. This book particularly is 1983. But, so this story is from the 50s, and the little blurb on the front just says, "A practical joke sets off a chain reaction of malicious but amusing catastrophes." And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So let's read this one. The next one is another Y, and it is You Are the Girl for the Job by Jess Connolly. Daring to Believe the God Who Calls You. So this one I really should read like ASAP because I'm currently going through some severe self-doubt when it comes to my shop. Mainly because I don't know anything about websites. So anyway, yep, You Are the Girl for the Job. I would love to read this. The next letter is D for Day, and I'm going with the book Dare, which is the first book in the Blades of Akhtar by Trisha Mingrink. And I believe this one is highly hyped also by Reese and Celestria. They both really hyped the Ilion Chronicles, so I'm wondering, ladies, do you guys have like super similar tastes? I'm curious. But yeah, the Blades of Akhtar, I want to read that by Trisha Mingrink. Sounds good? Sounds good. I think it's clean fantasy. I don't know if it's Christian fantasy. The next one is A, and I'm going with Alec Forbes of Howgland. And this is by George MacDonald. You know, I don't actually know if this is the same George MacDonald that I love. Yep, it is. Because there's a list in the beginning that says George MacDonald's novels, and one of them is Fantastes. Oh, and the Back of the North Wind, I've read that one. Okay, it is the same one, yay. And the last letter is Y again. So it is Your Future Self Will Thank You by Drew Dick. So again, there weren't a lot of Y options on my list, so we're gonna go with this one. I'm not really sure much about this book, but it's about self-control and living in the obedience of God when it comes to self-control. So, yeah, that is the acronyms for Holly and Lovely Day. And I have a bonus because I added a few questions that I personally wanted to answer. So here we go. And if you do this tag after me, I would love to hear your answers. And if you've already done this tag and you don't feel like doing it again, then let me know in the comments below what are your answers to these 6 questions. I would love to know that. Okay, number 1, what does your name mean? And list a book that reflects this meaning. My name, essentially, there's a lot of definitions for my name apparently, but from the holly tree, obvious. Dwelling by the hollow. Holy day, I've never heard holy day before. A refuge. And then as well, focusing on the plant, the holly tree and the thorns and the berries. That has strong Christian symbolism apparently. The thorns represent the crown of thorns that Jesus wore, and then the red berries represent his blood. So I thought that was quite beautiful actually. And I'm going to recommend Hind's Feet on High Places. I don't have a strong reason why I've chosen this book, but there's something that the Dwelling by the Hollow, I don't know, that made me feel like this book. Because in this book, our main character is representative of us and the trials that we go through in life, and how God can be that safe haven, which is also a refuge. And he's that guiding light, I guess, and I don't know, it's just a very beautiful book, and for some reason I got those vibes and I love it. So we're gonna go with Hind's Feet on High Places. Starts with an H too, so. Question number 2, what is your name's origin, and do you have or love any books from this culture or set in this country? And my name originates largely, it was saying English, like England, Britain, but some of them said Ireland as well. I don't know. And the one that I'm going to recommend for this is at the bottom of one of my stacks. Okay. I'm going with The Once and Future King by T.H. White. So this is the full novel of The Sword and the Stone. So The Sword and the Stone is technically just a portion of this big guy, but I've actually only read The Sword and the Stone, so I haven't read the full The Once and Future King, but I loved The Sword and the Stone. So, also set in England. Forgot to mention that. Question number 3, find a book with a title the same amount of letters as your first name. So my first name is Holly, and it's 5 letters long, and so I have to pick a book that is 5 letters long. And wouldn't you know, it also starts with H. H is like my favorite letter. I don't know. So anyway, it's House by Frank Peretti and Ted Dekker. I know a lot of my Christian friends, even the ones that like this genre, don't like this book. I actually like this book. I thought it was quite good and eerie, and like you're just like, what is happening, and you're like freaked out, and yeah, I like this one, and I would actually reread it, so just to get a refresher. Maybe I wouldn't like it the second time, I don't know. Question 4, find a title that includes all of the letters found in your first name. Well, I scoured my shelves and I finally found one, and it is going to be Fortunately the Milk. So there is, I'm using the because I need the H. So H, O in Fortunately, L in Fortunately, L in Milk, and Y in Fortunately. So yay! Fortunately, the milk has all of my letters, including 2 L's. Question number 5. Find a book that has a character with your name. I am going to go with The Afterlife of Holly Chase, because not only is Holly in the title, but Holly is the main character. This is a Christmas Carol retelling. So where you have the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future. And our main character, Holly Chase, is the Scrooge character. Wait. Oh, I'm not going to tell you anymore. There's more to that. But anyway, yeah, I will leave it there. But yeah, that answers the question. And then the last one, name an author who shares your first name, regardless of spelling. So my name isn't typically spelled any other way. I mean, there is some with EY or IE, but normally it's just HOLLY. And yeah, there's quite a few, I think, authors. The first one that comes to mind is Holly Black. She is a mainstream YA fantasy author. I've tried one of her books before and I had to DNF it because of content. I don't think I've read anything else from her. And that is it. That is it for the My Name book tag. Thanks again, Christine, for tagging me. I want to tag a few people as well. I want to tag Whitney, Christy, Taylor, and Sarah. So I want you guys to do this tag if you can, if you have time, if you haven't already done it. Leave in the comments below that you have done it so the rest of us can come watch. And yeah, I mean, if you have done it already, then that's cool too, but you can also let us know in the comments below that you've already done it. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye!